group specifically, and where do you feel like they can improve specifically on film?
Malik Clark is a guy that has physical attributes. He's playing left tackle for us, and I think he's a tough, hard-nosed guy. And I think that he, if he points at his performance and uses the necessity to be good as a motivation, he's a guy that can be a very good player. Jacoby Lott, same exact thing. So probably the fastest guy on our offensive line, and can take a 40-yard dash pretty fast at the end of practice against the rest of the kids the rest of the players on our team. So, and Oppie May, as a center, I'm watching him, and he had a very good game last week, and I'm just sitting there thinking, we didn't get it going fast enough. We didn't get it going with the opportunity early in the game, but it's not them. Certainly, there's we need to turn to that special teams eventually and make some differences.
Hey, one more on the O-line for you. I wanted to ask you about your right tackle, Adagio Lopetti, who's been playing that, I guess, more and more over Earl Bostic. What did he do to earn that spot, and how have you seen him hold up at right tackle so far?
Well, he struggled earlier, but he is, competitive, has the ability to move his feet. And I think he really matches up good with Chris Hughes, and I think they're great double team guys. But he's improved. He started the season, we had him as a backup center. We had him moving around, and we've kind of settled in with him at right tackle. Sometimes he'll move to another spot, but it's only by necessity at that point. But probably was slowed by, and having not asked him this, but slowed by the multitude of positions that he was asked to learn, and that we needed to have him learn. But he's improved and much better at this point.
Okay, how did you think Belton Gardner played in his kind of first game as the primary back?
I think he was okay. I think he's, youthful guy taking over the job. I think I think he played pretty well. Just kind of reviewing his plays. I think you'll see some other guys there, but I think that he will be the lead back.
What do you guys need out of Belton?
The opportunity to make plays off of what is our base run, and to make plays on some of those balls thrown out of the backfield. And he'll have a full menu when we take the field next.
Les, there's a lot of talk about your youth and these guys getting experience and snaps and all that. Is there any concern on your part about, their confidence being rattled a little bit by some of these losses and some of the way these Saturdays have gone in their first taste of college football? Have you had to talk with them about, hey, don't focus on that or the scoreboard or anything like that?
Yeah, we're looking at the opportunity to focus in on what we're supposed to do, and don't look up, and don't spend your time on the scoreboard. Spend your time preparing to play and play well. And then when you come to the game, make sure that you bring your best preparation, and realize that if they just do their job, we'll have a much better football team.
I know it's kind of a blanket statement because you've got so many young guys, but do they seem to do they seem to get that as a group? I mean, are you happy with the way they're buying into that idea?
Yeah, I think you only win in football when everything comes together. And so what happens is if a little piece unravels, initially our special teams, it puts us in a hell of a bind when it comes to, thinking about what is the next series and what we're doing and not, because generally speaking, we've been very good at the special teams this whole time, but certainly the first score was a special teams return, and that was just something that we all kind of turn to and fix, and our special teams guys have done a great job, and so at this point in time we're improved and working hard.
Hey, how has Stephen Parker progressed this season?
Pretty darn well. He's really can come off the edge. He's 6'5", I'm guessing, 245 or so, but lean and capable. And he's a Jayhawk champion. I mean, he's a guy that can come off the football and rattle your chain in a big way.
What did you like about how he played at K-State the other day?
I enjoyed his commitment to play, and I think he certainly comes off the edge and can do some special things.
Hey, Les, I know that you mentioned that Puka wants to return to this program next year. Have there been any other veterans on this team that have been pretty vocal about returning next year? That have been vocal about returning next year? Yes, like seniors.
Yeah, I have. I communicate with our team pretty routinely, and I have to be honest with you. I don't think that's any of our guys have been overly demonstrative about anything, and but they. In a one-on-one session with me, appeared to have great enthusiasm for the Jayhawks.
Coach, just kind of getting back to the defense, they're coming off a couple of solid performances. How do you feel that they match up with Iowa State and their offenses upcoming week?
I think this will be obviously one of the key matchups, in the fact that we're going to present them with some pass rush and some line of scrimmage play, and as well as they match with a pretty good secondary now, and so we recognize that they're a very good football team and has a very experienced quarterback, and a guy that's thrown for 7,000 yards is a pretty special addition to that team.
It seems the past couple of weeks your defense has played well in the first halves, especially. What's kind of made that hard to sustain going into the second halves of games?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I know that there's a lot of effort and energy that's being portrayed by our players and our coaches. I think there's a want to be able to get into the fourth quarter and win the game, and that's part of our business. It's part of the work to do. We have a lot of young guys that are playing. Karan Prunte is he leads the all freshmen in the nation with pass breakups, and leads the Big 12 conference in pass breakups. So guys that are playing for us as young players are really making great contributions, and so I'm seeing it as, down the road will be pretty damn good.
And do you think fatigue has played a factor at all in second halves, just the defense being on the field, time after time?
What was I guess the time after time in
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's okay.
Do you think fatigue is a factor with the defense in second halves?
No, heck no. I think they played in the I think they're in the 60 plus, right in that time, right in that number. So I didn't see fatigue necessarily as a factor.
Let me ask you one more in that area. Is it hard for a defense, take the K-State game, they go into that third quarter down 34-7. They've only given up one touchdown. Is it hard for them to continue to just mentally play, I guess? No.
I think that our guys recognize that. I think that they're just very much like any team, the responsibility of that part of the team to stay buoyant and fight like hell so that you can pull that offense along with it. So I don't see it to be a very, very significant factor. I think it's something that we all want to have happen. We want the offense to play as well as the defense does. And maybe that day will come this Saturday.
Les, you just talked about some of the young kids and Prunty. And, if people asked you where you think the program is, would you respond to them and say, hang in there? You're trying to develop a lot of young kids, and that does take a little time?
Yeah, that would be a sentiment that I would find as something that I would think as I looked at Karan Prunty and as he takes the field. And I think you'll find that our guys, I think we're 15 of 18 of our first class have already played, 15 of 18. And 16 of the games that were started by one of our players in his first year. So 14 players make their first career starts. And I think that what we have is a talented team, a young team, but one that we're really focused on this Iowa State team. Okay, they're a very, very talented team, and we want to play well in that game. But our football team is really in a youthful position, but chasing the opportunity to play time after time on Saturdays and play well.
A couple more questions for Coach. Les, how's the punting situation this week? Is Thompson going to practice and be back? And what about the second team guy?
I'm not sure about both of those two guys right now. Thompson I think he's probably closest to being on the field and ready to go. And he's a guy that we need. And Gagan as a backup punter is, going to put himself in a position as best he can to get it to be ready in the back end of this week. So that would be our specialists.
Does Gagan typically hold on extra points and field goals too?
Yeah, I was hoping you would notice that and necessarily bring it up, but I would think he would be a guy that would hold.
So who kind of fills in for him then if he's not available? It looked like maybe a long snapper held on one of the.
Well, Daniel Highshaw is a guy that had the last couple of weeks we've been kind of keeping him ready to go. He played held in high school in Oklahoma, so